Good afternoon, Rumblers. Just about an hour or hour and a half ago, we had Update 3.0 patch notes roll out, and in the Diablo Gaming Discord, we have a lot of European players that have confirmed that they've received the update. They say it's close to a gigabyte in size. I have not received that update, being in the United States, but hopefully we'll get to look at it soon. But I want to get some highlights on the 3.0 patch notes out as soon as I can. There's some really interesting things in the patch notes. I think we're going to see some reshuffling in PvP. Let's get to it. I'm not going to cover everything. In fact, I'm going to kind of just jump around. So the first thing I really like is our Arclight surges are going to occur 4 times per week rather than 2, but each one of those occurrences is only going to be a single zone. I think that's going to make surges feel a little more manageable and a little less daunting in that you can just take it in smaller chunks. Another interesting data point is that Cairn Bloodhoof is no longer going to lose bloodlust after, hang on a second, after he does his resurrection talent. So that's going to be good. Give me just one moment. Let me close out of an app real quick. Good. All right, moving on. This is going to be nice. So big red buttons. Maybe you don't know this, but the big red buttons, the reset buttons, you get one per surge you complete, but you no longer have to close the app, force close the app in order to see those. That's going to be very handy. Now let's jump into buffs for Thalnos and Gromish Hellscream. Both of them are getting, excuse me, pretty good buffs. So Thalnos is getting a 10-point buff, so that's going to be what, like about an 8 or 9% increase. And when you consider how his levels stack with spells, that's going to be a substantial boost. Maybe in a future video, I'll actually map that out in a table. Hellscream is getting a 10% buff. I think that's going to be even more important when we come into the next PvP meta, where we're going to see Dragon Towers go away. That's going to be great. Replaced by Rocket Towers. I think we're going to see fast, tanky melee units play a bigger factor in PvP, but again, that will be upcoming in a future video as well. This is this is the big one. Skeleton Mage spawn frequency is going from 15 seconds to 18 seconds, and later I've got a table to show you just how that breaks down. But I'm going to warn you, inside Diablo Gaming guild chat, European players are saying that the patch notes are wrong and that it's actually every 20 seconds. I will do my best. I will verify that for myself once I've got the update. Um, let's see. Okay, so Thalnos, who was broken in beta, was then nerfed into the ground, and he is gradually increasing. And so his life steal is going from an 8% to 10%. So that, in conjunction with his damage boost, is just going to increase Thalnos's viability in PvP as well as in PvE. Cold Snap is now going to slow units and not stun them. That means that Blizzard is not going to be nearly as effective as it has been. Dark Iron Miner, the mines are no longer going to damage flying troops. That seems like a pretty reasonable. Change. That sounds good. Dark Spear Troll, the headhunting um, talent now stacks properly. That's been a problem since beta. That's really good. Here's a big one. Frost Wolf Shaman. Read right here. Um, okay. Earthwall Totem should no longer be cast before the shaman encounters a damaged building. Okay, so let's read that one more time. Earthwall Totem should no longer be cast before the shaman encounters a damaged building. I'm not 100% sure what that means. I think we're going to just have to see it play out and see how that goes. Looks like Maeve is getting, excuse me, Maeve is getting a small nerf. Remorseless is now dealing double damage and not triple damage. That's going to hurt her just a little bit. I don't think it's going to be huge. Okay, this is significant, and I didn't realize this either. Plague Farmer should now actually receive extra range and splash area when the Splashing Tongue Pumpkin's talent is equipped. So I think Plague Farmer is a bit of a sleeper unit, and I think he's just going to get even better. Okay, let's look right here. In PvP, increased rate at which leaders gain honor in PvP. We've definitely seen that. We've definitely seen that under 3K, and that's helping to increase the pool of available players. That's a good thing. It looks like we're also getting a slight modification to our tomes in the PvP track, and only one of those is going to be recurring. Everything below 9K is a one-time deal only. Also, notice the fact that we're getting a little bit of a different distribution to minis, new seasonal minis on the PvP track. Basically, it's just you're getting more minis earlier on. You're going from 1 to 4 and then from 2 to 4. So that's going to really help more players get access to the seasonal mini. I think when I counted this out, you're actually getting fewer minis if you make it to 19,000. Let's do that count again. 3, 7, 15. Yeah. So on the left, originally it was 30. Now it is 16. Yeah. Now that's not 16. That's 10, 18, 28. Yep. So you're getting two fewer. Two fewer. I just have to laugh out loud here. So fixed an issue with the continue button being not tappable at the end of the game. We swear, probably. Yeah, on multiple occasions we've been told that has been fixed and it hasn't happened. I mean, I'm not too worked up about that. It is annoying, but I am confident that it is going to go away eventually. It's just a question of when. All right. So while I was talking, I'm also in the process of pulling up my Baron Ice Mage Nerf. So this table right here, hopefully we're going to be able to explain it pretty well. So what I did is I went back and I watched some of my PvP replays on YouTube, and I tracked down exactly when Baron, excuse me, exactly when Baron spawns Ice Mages. And what I want us to pay very careful attention to is that the wording says that the nerf is only happening to Ice Mages spawned at the towers, not at the barracks. So if you play a match all the way into overtime and reach the 28 second, as in 28 seconds left, you're going to get 10 Ice Mages out of your barracks. So it's going to happen 5 times. It happens at 3 minutes and 28 seconds, in other words, 2 seconds into the match, and then it happens every hour. So over here we have our tower column, and what we're going to see is if the documentation is right, we are losing a total of 3 Ice Mages. And everywhere I have these kind of a pinkish 0, that's an indication of a breakpoint where you are missing an Ice Mage. And so the good thing is, if the documentation in the patch notes is correct, then you only lose, in most of your matches, you're only going to lose 2 Ice Mages. The reason why is because that final Ice Mage is going to be lost basically at the end of the match, at the very end of the match, where it's less likely to play a major factor. But if it's actually 20 seconds, like internal testing in Diablo Gaming says, then we're losing 3. So that is going to be a more significant nerf. We are either losing 3. I'm sorry, I said that's going to be 3. Yeah, you're going to lose 3 in the match, but your totals originally pre-nerf, you could get a maximum of 18 Ice Mages from that one barracks you control. I'm not even entering the hypothetical of capturing the second barracks, because in this particular PvP meta, that's not very likely. I think next week when we lose fortification and we change to rocket towers, that's going to be much more likely. But in this meta, you're going to go from 18 down to either 15 or 14. So time will play that out. Final note, and let me just hide this. So final note is an undocumented nerf to this patch, according to BlizzDev in the main Discord, is that deep breath double dragon talent. Wherever the deep breath overlaps and hits the same target twice, it's no longer going to do double damage. It's now only going to do single damage. So as a spell to target the enemy barracks in PvP, deep breath has effectively been cut in half. And so that is going to make deep breath less less devastating to the PvP meta. It's going to some people are I suspect most people who have deep breath will continue to use it because it has other uses. I just simply think that means we're going to use deep breath on the barracks with less frequency. Um, or we're going to be using it for a different reason. Maybe it's because we've got a push heading to the barracks and deep breath is being used to clear waves of enemies and not necessarily to do the damage itself. Now, deep breath with double dragon is still going to be extremely viable when you have a large spread out push going down one lane. It's still going to wipe very effectively, but you're no longer going to be able to, say, for example, stick it right on Necromancer or Huntress or some other resistant or high HP unit and do double damage. So Deep Breath is still going to, in my opinion, be an effective and often used spell. I just don't think it's going to be quite as dominant in version 3.0 as it was for the past 1.5 weeks in the Arathi Basin. So those are my thoughts. If you like what you saw, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel, following me on Twitch, like this video, make comments. I will be more than happy to reply and interact. So thank you so much for watching, and y'all take care and get out there and play some